What's up, guys? It's your boy Wings of Redemption. And what is the number one thing that you hate about gaming today? That's the question that I posed to myself this morning. I sit down, trying to do a commentary, and I think, man, what do I do not like about gaming today versus gaming back then? Because I was sitting there thinking, is it nostalgia alone that makes me yearn for my youth? Or is it that games itself have gotten a little bit more diluted? Keep in mind, I'm fully aware there's great games being made every day of the week. Hell, a few games I like recently was the DayZ mod. I love Fallout. I love the Elder Scrolls series. Hell, I love the Resident Evil remake. I love Resident Evil 6. Lots and lots of good games. I love Dead Space 3. But because I love a game, doesn't mean they're as good as they could be. Back in my youth, I used to fear the hard difficulty. Fear it. Like I was terrified of it. Now, I know if I put the hard difficulty on, it's going to be like what medium was for every other game. That could be a couple of reasons. What is it? Because when I was child, I had childlike reflexes, and now as an adult, I have an adult-like reflexes, and hard doesn't seem as hard anymore. That's a possibility. But for me, I feel like most games, Call of Duty, mind you, is the one I'm basically referencing the most of here, are pretty much slot machines. People agree with me. Look at this article. It's going to be in the description of this video. It's basically from the guy who did Red Orchestra 2. He said when he was developing Red Orchestra 2, his company wanted him to mainly make it as much like Call of Duty as possible, and they basically bring in other developers that would game test the game. Well, Red Orchestra 2 has a momentum run system, whereas Call of Duty, you're instantly as fast as you humanly could be. And most people didn't like the Red Orchestra 2 game. They said it was sucks, it's slow, they didn't like it at all. And he compared the notes. Call of Duty, an ADS time might be 0.15 milliseconds. Whereas Red Orchestra 2, it might be 0.17 milliseconds. There's 2 milliseconds difference there, but it's noticeable to the human eye and makes it seem like it's slower. So basically, everybody wants fast-paced, fast-paced, fast-paced. But is fast-paced a good thing? One of the games I have really, really fond memories of, first-person shooter-wise, was Bad Company. The original Bad Company. And I'm saying this, I picked Bad Company over Call of Duty World at War for a long time. I didn't get into World at War to about 4 months after it came out. And that was my really first taste of Call of Duty. I had it. I had the game. I played the game. I had friends on the game. I was like, I kind of like Bad Company better. And what did I like better in Bad Company? Well, I really liked the snipe back in the day. I really loved it. I loved the headshot mechanic. I loved the whole, fun, like icon system. I loved that if I was better than the other person, I would beat them most of the time. Even if they got the jump on me, I would beat them. And I would beat them handily. I love the fact that experience mattered. In Battlefield Bad Company, if I knew a way or a route or a line of sight somebody else didn't know, I was on a severe advantage compared to somebody that didn't know it. Whereas on Call of Duty or World at War, if I didn't know that line of sight, or that they didn't know that line of sight, and I used it, they could still beat me because the guns kill really fast. For those of you who aren't aware, haven't played Bad Company, the original, on the PlayStation... It's on the PlayStation 3. Haven't played the original? Basically what they did is it took somewhere between 9 to 12 bullets to kill, legitimately. So it was a really slow kill game. Some of the assault rifles had 50 rounds. But that's the way it was. You couldn't go prone, and all you could do was crouch, and that's just for gameplay mechanics. But Call of Duty, it means, like... bad players. And I'm not talking about players that go 2 KD. I'm not talking about 1.4 KD players. I'm not even talking about 0.8 KD players. I'm talking about bad players. Legitimately bad players. Not people that consider somebody bad because they don't play like they play. Bad players. Guys that you see in ground war games. Guys that you see just standing flat foot, struggling to shoot. Well, when you see these bad players struggling to shoot against you, and you're, like, say, a 174 KD, they're still playing the game. You ask, so why are these guys playing the game? Well, one, they're not as good as you, obviously. Two, they are as good as other bad players. And sometimes they get stuck in the lobbies with other bad players. And they might get 15 and 20 when they don't have, Ravageous Beast in the lobbies. Call of Duty has a broad audience. So there's a good chance that they won't get stuck in game with good players probably 50% of the time. So they'll just leave and go look for bad players. What does this do? This makes them feel like they're better than they actually are. You get 20 kills and you're not mindful of your deaths at all, or don't care or have no regard of your deaths, say you're a weekend warrior, you feel good. You feel like you're pretty good at first-person shooter, and you see it all the time. How many times have you went to work with somebody and they claimed they were good at Call of Duty? You go, yeah, I'm good at Call of Duty too. But your idea of being good at Call of Duty differs greatly from their idea of being good at Call of Duty. I'm not trying to say that everybody that plays Call of Duty isn't good at first-person shooters. No. What I'm trying to say is being good at Call of Duty doesn't make you good at first-person shooters. Obviously, the higher-end Call of Duty players do have really good first-person shooter tactics and stuff like that. Hell, guys like Xcal, Sandy Ravage, myself, we all came from PC Battlefield. Believe it or not, that's where we came from. I mean, I've been probably 10 years out of playing the PC, and I probably look like a dead duck, but I played first-person shooters before Call of Duty. And, Call of Duty was easy to mold into, and it's kind of taken over. But is the fact that every gunfight you get into a slot machine, which has gotten extremely common as each newer Call of Duty rolls out, that you're pretty much rolling dice to see who wins a gunfight. The guns kill so fast, they shoot so fast, the recoil is so little that almost anybody can get a kill if they get the jump. What do you feel about the compressed skill gap that they pretty much implement into the newer games? Do you feel like it's a good thing? Do you feel like how it's going to take the game to new levels? Or do you feel like you're going to be running into a game with 4,000 unlocks on everything and you got to pay for them? Let me know in the comment section below. As always, rate the video, it helps me out tremendously. Share the video, and if always, subscribe.